My friends, today we were painting these light and delicate pink florals with some cute little details, and it's not going to be difficult. This composition is something you can do, so let's go ahead and get started. So here's what I'm using as a reference. This is just a nice little sketch and paint that I did the other day. I think I'll mostly follow it with composition, but we'll see how it goes. I always like to change things up a little bit. So I'm grabbing this really light pink and then this coral color on my palette and just going to scrub that, get some paint on there, make sure that I have enough water, and then I'm mixing up a little bit of this fuchsia in the red. I just like to use mostly what's on my palette, adding to it until I can have a nice mixture of those brighter colors and then the more subdued color as well. So we're starting off with that light pink color. I've got my dagger brush, but use what you have. I'm just gonna make some petal shapes here, and they are made of C shapes or C curve shapes, and then you fill in the middle. And I'm just going to change some of the colors so it's not all the same. So I'm dipping into that brighter pink now. And let's do another petal. Again, I'm following, for the most part, roughly my reference photo. Just gonna add in some variations of pinks and corals just to make this really pretty. I think that will be fun. So let's add in now a down facing petal and then one facing the other direction, but kind of in that down position. And then lastly, we'll add one more here in the middle. It's really bright. It's a little bit shorter. You can see that it's not completely forward facing. It's tilted a little bit so that the bottom petals appear a little bit shorter. So I'm just filling in with a little bit of light paint in the areas where I feel like I want a little bit more fluffiness where the flower is. So let's go ahead and do our other ones. This is looking like almost like a bud, which would be really pretty to keep it like that, but we're just going to do a side-facing flower. So I have 2 petals down and adding a third, still changing up the colors so that they are all unique. And then let's add petal number 4 here on the side. They're just these C-curve shapes kind of curving up towards where the center is as these petals are starting to blossom and unfold. And let's add a 5th one as well there at the bottom. So that'll be our side-facing floral. And I just thought it would be fun to do a little variation and making sure that all the petals just had some unique colors to them. Okay, let's do another side facing. This looks like a bud here, but we're gonna add in some more colors. So what I'm doing is I'm using the light pink and then that coral color. If you dip in your water and squeegee off the side, you can get a lighter value of some of these colors as well. And I'm just going really light because then we'll be able to do lots of fun and beautiful details once these are dry. So let's do some buds. Buds can be really fun, keeping them fun and light, as well as changing up your colors. And right now I'm just kind of seeing what makes sense. I do have my reference, but I also want to give myself some space to be able to change it up a little bit if I want to. So that one was a bit of a little side-facing flower with some petals out there. So just working quickly with my dagger brush, I get a variation of thin and thick petals, which I really appreciate in this brush. And you might not have a fancy 1/2 inch dagger brush like I do, but that's okay. Use what you have. A round brush is great. So another little side facing couple of those guys. I love how wispy these petals look, and this paint palette by Christy Rice just really brings alive this painting. It makes me so happy to use it. I'll try to remember to link it below, but I do have my affiliated Amazon link below definitely so that you guys can check out the supplies I recommend and that I love, that I use. Let's add some greens. This is a beautiful, almost a sappy green, a little bit lighter, I would say. We're going to use this for our stems and our greenery today. So just, these are starting to dry up nicely, but just arcing those stems. I want them to look fun and unique. And then you can add a little greenery underneath as the paper is just damp now, so it's not going to spread a ton. And it's going to give that nice green part to the bottom where the flower is attached to the stem. And I like the spreading that we get just very lightly. It's not a ton. And I'm keeping I'm not only curving my stems to make them look really interesting, but I'm keeping the stems pretty light and pretty thin as well. So just remember, think about where the center of the flower is, and that's where you're going to attach your stem, which makes sense, right? It makes sense. But sometimes we get a little like kind of confused about where to place things. And I am purposefully crossing some of these stems over each other versus a very stick straight stem that's just not doing anything really exciting. And some of these stems are going to touch down to the bottom, and some of these shorter ones maybe not so much, and that's okay. So you could leave your painting like this, really simple, easy, beautiful, but I want to add in more details and glazing, which is simply putting a wet layer of paint over a dry layer. That first layer right now we're adding in. The second layer, once this dries, will be called the glazing layer, or just glazing. That's the verb of what we're doing. And I'm mixing up more green here. I want to make sure that I have enough so that I can darken up some of those areas, the stem areas. And this is not glazing, this is called wet on wet because that first layer is still wet, so you can see the paint is starting to spread, which is a really beautiful effect. It's going to be more diffused and light, have really soft edges. And now for the center of our flower, I want to stipple in some brown. So sometimes I just dip right in from the paint well, and sometimes I add it to the tray and then I add water, but I want it to be fairly dark so that I don't have to go over another time too much and darken it up later. I am just stippling and adding in some pieces, not just making a round circle, but allowing those little pieces to kind of branch off. And I think that's going to be a fun little center for this guy. Now with this painting, almost all of, well, actually everything except that one bloom is facing away and it's closed. So we just have one center flower. All right, so now we're going to do our line details, and what we're wanting to do is take a darker version of the pink, and we're going to put some nice thin and thick lines coming off the center. And then also you want to, I like to outline the edges of the petals too. And then also adding in some little sketchy marks on the tips of the petals of the flowers. And we're not going too dark. Some people, sometimes myself included, sometimes I like to do that, that first light wash of color and then that medium value of color that we're doing now. And then when that's dry, adding in a darker version of that color and to add even more shadow marks. Then this is essentially what we're doing right now. We're adding in the texture and the saturated color to add in those shadow marks and the interest. So it kind of looks like I might be going 20 or 30% darker than that first layer. You could go a lot darker for the initial or for the second layer if you want to. It's really up to you. You can even try a different color. You don't have to go like darker with the original color that you used. Just be creative and have fun. One thing to keep in mind here is that as the petal is curved, you want to curve your line because you're showing that curvature by curving those lines instead of making like veins really stick straight. Unless the petal is really straight, you want to flow with it so that you can continue with that shape and allow that to look a bit more realistic. So I really love this palette by Christy Rice. I mean, she's got unique colors on there that you won't find anywhere else. And I love how she's mixed together some white in some of the colors, such as the pink and the coral, which makes it such a beautiful, creamy, just beautiful, creamy and dreamy colors. And whenever I use her palette, and she doesn't pay me to say this either, but whenever I use her palette, I find myself to be so much more creative for some reason. And I think it's just because I've conditioned my brain to know that this palette is unique and I'm going to create some unique things with it every time I bring it out. All right, so adding in some more color here. You could add in some more yellow if you wanted. I like that some of these petals have that coral. It kind of looks like the light is hitting them in a special way, which is really fun. Okay, I'm taking that green and I'm taking the pointed part of the brush, and I'm just gonna make some leaves. And you can even do some grasses if you want, but I'm going to do some long, thin leaves. So a little stem, C-curve shape. You can even just do one side like that if you want, or you can do two C shapes and then fill in the center to have a thicker leaf as well. And I think these guys are doing well with a nice thin wonky leaf. Of course, I filled that part in with some water. And let's try that again up here. So when you're thinking about your composition, you know, you're wanting to fill things out in a way that's going to be attractive to the eye and that's going to fill up the space well. Sometimes it feels a little bit scary, a little daunting to add in the greenery when if you feel like you really love your composition the way it is, and you don't always have to add greenery. It's like that icing on the cake. It's just, it complements, plus the green and the pink look really good together and really pop next to each other. But, you know, you could leave it without and that's fine. Usually with flowers, you find them surrounded by foliage and greenery, but it's really up to you. This is your painting. You're supposed to paint it however you feel comfortable and what makes you happy and excited to pick up your brush. I mean, that's really the ideal and the key here. So let's darken up some of those leaves. I just dipped into some more green and I'm making some sketchy marks. Just want to create some more texture. It's all about that texture and the contrast. The texture gives it interest, and the contrast with the lights, mediums, and dark values give it realism and dimension. So, and then your composition gives it interest, how you add things and balance it out. Symmetry doesn't always mean balance. Sometimes it can feel too matchy-matchy and not organic and fun. Asymmetry, where different things are, it's not matchy-matchy, but you've got a couple things up here and one or two things down here, and it all balances out because it helps to lead your eye through your painting. And that's what you're wanting to look for. And it takes time to learn that. I don't think that anyone necessarily has that mastered. So I've just added in some marks here. If you don't want your marks to be as distinct as mine, you could take your brush, wash it off, and just like kind of rinse it in your water, dab it on your paper towel, and then just blend some of those lines in. Right now, I'm going to add a little bit more of that pink color, really darkening it up as the other color just already kind of blended in a little bit, lightened up as it dried. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going too distinct, like too stark, too drastic here. But I just want to play around with these values. And you could even add in some coral marks if you wanted, or some yellow marks too would be really pretty. Even some burgundy could be nice. Some really dark shadows could be pretty as well. But I'm liking this light look. I think it's really working for me. And I'm thinking this composition is so satisfying to me that I would love to use it with other types of flowers. You know, so think about your compositions. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. You can use something that's going well, that's working well for you. Just change up the shapes of the petals or the centers of the flowers or the perspective. Maybe, you know, 3 of the flowers are facing you and the rest are side facing. Maybe you have less buds and more of those side-facing flowers. Just changing it up so that, you know, it's interesting. You're not getting bored. And guys, if you like this video, I know it's almost over, but please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on my videos in the future. And remember to check out my Patreon link, which is linked in the description. That's where I teach watercolor. And you can sign up for a free week of bonus content, exclusive tutorials, art prints, live stream with me, that kind of stuff, depending what you choose. So check it out. Link below. It's so fun over there. All right, we are almost done with this. I'm so excited that we painted this together today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know if you have an idea of what you'd like to see me paint again. I've taken some blue and I've taken some brown, and I thought it would be fun just to stipple a little bit of that mixture in the center of this flower just to give it some more pop and some more expression. See how beautiful you can make a center of a flower without belaboring the point. Well, thank you for being here, guys. I hope you enjoyed painting this with me. I'll see you guys on the next video.